Welcome to Wheels TV On Demand. We're wild about wheels.
You're watching a Wheels TV Top 200 New Vehicle Profile on the 2005 Pontiac GTO. There's little debate that in 1964, Pontiac fired the first salvo in what was to become the most explosive and combative era in Detroit history, the muscle car era, when a 389 cubic inch V8 was dropped into the engine bay of the rather unremarkable Pontiac Tempest. The result? The Pontiac GTO, the car that changed the rules in how performance automobiles would be built for the next 10 years. GTOs tapped into the youth movement of the 1960s, and in its heyday, the GTO was a respected and revered bad boy with a reputation for quickness and a tiger-like attitude. But the muscle car era ended almost as quickly as it began in the early 1970s, thanks to a couple of oil embargoes and increased safety mandates by the government. The GTO and the GTO name were retired in 1974, but in 2004, both were resurrected, and the new generation Pontiac GTO is back this year with even more power and performance. Based on the Australian-built Holden Monaro, the GTO follows the sacred formula for all American muscle cars: big V8, small nimble sedan, and rear-wheel drive. All GTOs come with a 6-liter LS2 V8 that bangs out 400 horsepower, 50 more than the 2004's LS1 engine. There's also an increase in torque from 365 foot-pounds last year to 395 this year. A 4-speed overdrive automatic transmission is standard on the GTO, and a 6-speed manual is optional. All GTOs come as 2+2 Sport Coupes, and except for your choice of transmission or the 18-inch 5-spoke aluminum wheels, there are no other options to choose from, which means every 2005 GTO that comes from Pontiac is loaded with standard equipment, such as plenty of leather on the seats, steering wheel, and shift handle, a premium Blaupunkt audio system with an in-dash 6-CD changer, and 8-way power adjustable front seats. The GTO can rush from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5.5 seconds and cover the quarter mile in about 14 seconds. And that makes it quicker than any previous bone stock GTO from the 1960s. Mileage estimates from the EPA are 17 miles per gallon city, 25 miles per gallon highway. And that's an improvement over the old 389 4-barrel carbureted or 3 2-barrel carbureted vintage GTOs. There's 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, electronic traction control, multi-stage front airbags, and an emergency mode that shuts down the vehicle's systems and unlocks the doors in the event of an airbag deployment. Vintage GTOs had interiors that could be compared with the inside of a taxi cab. Not the new generation goats. The leather, well-positioned analog gauge cluster, and easy-to-use climate control switches are as good as it gets. The suggested base price of the 2005 Pontiac GTO is $32,295. The 18-inch wheels and 6-speed transmission together would run another $1,000 or so. Pontiac has resisted the temptation to tack the GTO name on any of the other so-called performance cars they've produced since 1974. And that's admirable, because although the new generation GTO borrows little in the way of appearance from its 1960s ancestor, it is a muscle car in every sense of the word. And that's the kind of car the GTO nameplate is worthy of.
Explore your passion for automotive entertainment with Wheels TV, the first television network dedicated to our automotive and motorcycle lifestyles. Get our free newsletter on wheels at wheelstv.net. Like everyone who loves to drive or lives to ride, we're all wild about wheels.